Okay, this is part 2 to your reading. So if you haven't already, make sure you go and watch the previous one before this. Okay, so what we ended that one with was meditation. Meditation is going to be really, really powerful for you because it gains that relationship with yourself. You're going to learn how to trust yourself and listen to your inner guidance system, listen to your higher self, and you'll be able to easily release people and let go. And what we also said is this is something that you're heavily doing now, letting go, allowing yourself to release people. And also remember that just because you release them doesn't mean they won't come back around if they're supposed to. It just means that you're not allowing yourself to keep living in the past, because that's what you have heavily been doing for years now. You're in an energy of waiting. You're waiting for your life to just be perfect. But what you're doing is you're not allowing yourself to take action because you're waiting. And because you're actually waiting, you're living in the past in your imagination. And so it's preventing you from taking action because you're procrastinating. In other words, you're just doubting because you're holding on to the past. Because you've had people that have no longer resonated you in their life anymore, the chapter's closed. Rather than moving forward and realizing, okay, there's better people out there for me, I've not even had my best days yet, you're still holding on to why did they do that, the resentment. So right now you're creating, or you're trying to create, but you're creating things to be frustrated about because this resentment is the energy that you're creating with, and it's because you're holding on to the past. But if you've watched the previous video, you'll know that I mentioned how you are moving out of this energy. You are allowing yourself to look back and be able to release people and not hold on to them so tightly, right? Appreciate what you had with these individuals. Now live your life. Otherwise, every single day that comes, you're never in the present moment. You're always in the past. And every single day, you keep projecting that pain from the past into this present moment. And you just keep recreating more pain for yourself. But you are letting go. You are allowing yourself to release these people, okay? I said in the previous video as well that there is someone heavily in your energy with love, and I put on their past love or currently. What's coming out is they are currently, because they are wanting you to be the best version of you. They are trying to help you. They embody this nurturer, protector, provider energy. But when it comes to you, because you have this traumatized inner child within you, nothing that they can do ever feels like enough for you. And so you're projecting your childhood wounds onto this individual. Maybe you're aware of that, maybe you're not aware of that. And if you keep doing that, what will happen is emotionally, you've pushed them far away. You have pushed them far away in your imagination, your thinking, right? So for example, you're right next to them, but because you keep projecting everything onto them, even though they're hugging you, showing you love, in your imagination, you are distant from them. You're so far apart from them because of your own projections onto them. Now you're in your own head worrying, stressing, fearing. Do they love me? Do they not? Have I taken it too far? Oh my gosh. So they're still there with you, but you have created distance in your own imagination because you keep projecting your childhood traumas onto that person, when that person is there to show you a relationship, and be there to love you. If you keep projecting pain, you're always going to feel like it's a painful relationship. And so you may have a lot of arguments in this relationship, but again, nothing to worry about because you always come out the other end. The only thing to be careful of is the patterns, right? Both of you probably will be able to see these patterns now, and that's when you do something about it, okay? Because a habit is no longer a habit once you realize what you're doing, right? Now it's a choice, okay? Now you're choosing to keep projecting pain and live in pain because you've figured out it's a habit. You've noticed a cycle, right? So now you can change that cycle, and you change cycles by breaking them, which is changing your own thoughts. When you change your own thoughts, everything will change because you're no longer operating through that place of pain. Again, very important that you watch the previous video, because I went over when you're living with a traumatized inner child, you are on defensive mode. You are easily triggered. You take everything personally, like a personal attack, like a bruise to your ego, right? And so you're living in a constant state of fight and flight. You are always on edge, okay? This is what an individual's life is when they live with a traumatized inner child. Because you're not the only one in pain, experiencing pain. Everything around you needs to now reflect that back, but it's coming from you. So acknowledgement is the first thing. Now it's actually changing that by changing your beliefs. And if you haven't already, do make sure you check out the Empire and the Theta Hacking if you want to heal your inner child and step out of victimhood into creator, and therefore create your dream life. Because if you're stuck victimizing your experience and keep victimizing yourselves, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be fulfilled. You're never going to experience any joy or love or peace, because you're not at peace with yourself, and because you don't feel safe in your own body or secure. And insecurity comes from you not feeling secure within. That's what insecurity is. Insecurity is when someone doesn't feel secure in their own body, right? And so inner child healing is essential to live a life that you would actually get fulfillment from, get fulfillment out. Wake up every day excited for the day ahead, loving your relationships, loving your encounters, loving what you do, because you put that out and you get that back. If you don't like your life currently and you don't like what you're getting back, it's because you don't like your own energy. So you have to take accountability for that. You can no longer keep blaming people for how you feel, because no one makes you feel any type of way. You are the one responsible for the way that you feel. You're the only one that decides that, okay? I'm also seeing stars, so you may have like a starry night or something to do with stars on the wall. Something like that. Anyways, let me see any more. Candle healing as well. If you have candles, get a candle and stare at the flame. This is so powerful to healing that inner child. You don't speak about your pain. That does not heal. You have to change what you're doing if you want to heal. So you have to change the beliefs that you hold. Staring at a candle is a form of meditation. And so if you don't want to do any other types of meditation, try candle healing. Very, very, very powerful. Okay, I'm going to leave that with you.